We are now live. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. This is Dre All Day coming to y'all live. Did I post a topic here on Facebook? Let me make sure I post a topic on Facebook. I'm not sure I did. Make sure I got my topic posted on Facebook. Hope everybody's having a great day over there on IG. We are making sure we got Facebook Live. As soon as I get Facebook Live, we're going to get right into it. Told y'all we was going to be starting this a little bit later today, so here we are. Let me get my live going over here on Facebook, and then we're going to get right into it. So again, everybody, as y'all come in, tell me your name and location in the comment section, Instagram. We're going to get into it in a minute. As soon as I get this Facebook Live fired up, we're going right into what we need to do. Question is, do I remember you? Who are you? Tell me who you are. How I'm going to remember you. All right. As y'all checking in, tell me your name and location in the comment section. We're going to get started in a minute. We about to get Facebook fired up in 1 minute. Brad Toronto. What's going on, Brad Toronto? Nehemiah checking in from Buffalo. We are live on Facebook right now. So we're about to get started in a minute. As y'all come in, tell me your name and location in the comment section. We getting started in 1 moment. Matt checking in from the Philippines. Shout out to the Philippines. Bradley Anderson, you've been here a while from the Periscope days. Shout out to the Periscope days. Do I remember you? I don't know, Bradley. You don't have to give me more information than that. It's off of just what you said just there. No, but you had to give me more information than that. But my girl says she remembers your name, so I guess you're telling the truth. I believe you. She says she remembers your name. I just said your name out loud. Says she remembers. So we changed it to yes. All right. Yes, I said your name. Yeah, man, I'm black. I know how to say the name Nehemiah, man. All right, Antonio from Fort Worth, just checking in from Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn, man. Shout out to Notorious B.I.G. Shout out to Foxy Brown. Shout out to AZ. But listen, we're going to get started in a minute. All right, so we're about to get started right now. Facebook was good. As y'all come in on Facebook, y'all got 3 things y'all can do. Y'all can leave a comment, tell me name and location. You can hit the share button, share to see your timeline, and you can hit the like button. IG, all y'all can do is the comment. And what's the other thing you can do? Tap the screen. Now everybody asks me, do I remember them? Listen, let's get into the content and we can talk about remembering each other later. All right, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete, author of 26 books. I've done 4 TED Talks. I've created over 15,000 pieces of content, all under this framework, this philosophy that I created called Work on Your Game. All the frameworks that I share are from this philosophy called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking the pro athlete mentality that you need to be successful in sports and be in the top 1%, and how to take that same mentality and transfer that to your business and to your life, and for you athletes out there, how to use it, of course, in the sports world. Now, Work on Your Game, I told you I created all this content, 7,000 videos on YouTube, 7,000 articles on dreallday.com. That's my main website, but I got like 50 websites. And what's the other one? 1,500 podcast episodes. I got a new podcast launching on Monday called the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. If y'all didn't know, I played 9 years professional basketball overseas. I got a podcast coming Monday called the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. It is up right now. The trailer's up. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, SoundCloud. So go look that podcast up and subscribe. If you want to know anything about playing ball overseas, I will cover everything. And my show, Work on Your Game, which is the masterclass. That's been out since 2016. Comes out every day. It's on all those same platforms. So just look up Dre Baldwin on any podcast platform you prefer. Look it up. Look me up on Spotify. You'll see my 2 shows. Make sure you subscribe to both of them. We got Angela checking in from Salt Lake City, Utah. She is a top fan on Facebook. Shout out to Angela. So, everything that I just said, Work on Your Game is for 3 specific types of people. Number 1, YouTube's the videos. Number 1 is the person who needs more game, more skill. You just need more ability, more skill, more game in what you do. Number 2, you have game, but you need to get better at performing your game. And number 3, you have game and you perform, but you're just not getting the recognition that you need. So if you have any one of these 3 challenges, skill, performance, or recognition, Work on Your Game is for you. So what I do here on these lives, just in case any of y'all don't know, I'm going to share with you a different framework every single day that is from within this whole philosophy called Work on Your Game. That is this right here. I'll tell you about this book later. And I'm going to tell you how you can get both of these books or either one of them for free, shipped to your doorstep right now. I'll tell you about that at the end. I will give you the framework, usually either 3 to 5 points that I'm going to give you in the framework. Then I'll recap it. Then I'm going to tell you about these books. And then I will answer all questions. So anybody leaves a comment or anything from this point forward, I will address it at the end of me sharing what I'm going to share here today. Usually I do these at 5:15. Today I just did it later. So now, today's topic, as you can see, It's keeping your opinions flexible. Now, this is a very important topic for us to be talking about these days. Since I spent, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this past week talking about specific current events around this whole George Floyd situation. So if you didn't hear any of those, all the lives are still on my Facebook, and I think I posted almost all of them to my IGTV as well. So they're on my feed. And what else did I do with them? That's it. They just in those places. So if you want to, and I did a whole hour, 40-minute Work on Your Game show episode on this whole situation on Monday. So go look up my show, Work on Your Game, on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, whatever. It's an hour and 40 minutes where I gave my full thought out, laid out points about this whole situation from both sides of it. So it is not me just saying, oh, well, all these people are wrong, all these people are right. I don't do that. I like to see every angle of a situation, which is why the topic here today is the topic. And after Thursday, it wasn't really much else to say. Ain't really nothing else going on with the situation. Only thing that's happening now is people arguing on social media, but that's going to happen every day no matter what's happening. People are always going to find something to argue about on social media. And as I tell you all the time, I am a producer. I am not a consumer. I felt like I spent way too much time consuming media this week, Sunday through Thursday, because of all the stuff that was going on. But I give myself a pass because this was a serious, real situation that was going on. We're talking about people losing their lives. We're talking about a lot of people out here who feel like they are not being seen and heard. Whether you agree with them or not, they feel that way. And if people feel that way and they're making enough noise, you're going to pay attention. And I'm one of those people. So if and when things change, eventually something's going to happen because these cops have been charged. So the legal system has to play out. Any of you know anything about the legal system, knowing that the playing out of the legal system can take a long time. This could take months. I don't think it's going to take as long as a normal case would, simply because of the high profile level of this case, that this is going to be pretty speedy. The law says you have a right to a speedy trial. That's written in the law books. And I think you're actually going to get a speedy close of this whole situation, because the government, the local Minnesota government and the national government wants this thing done and over with as quickly as possible. And they want the aftermath over with as quickly as possible, because this is not helping anybody on any side of it, any color. So I think this is going to get ended quick. When things change, I will do more lives and talk about that topic, but it really ain't nothing else to say about it. But what I'm talking about today is related to that, because right now, you all know, y'all on Facebook or Instagram, wherever you're listening to me right now, you see social media, you see the status updates, you see everybody's posts, you know whatever you have posted on your feed, you have probably talked to somebody about this, you probably had somebody disagree with you on something that you said. For whatever reason, you probably had somebody disagree with you and you didn't even tell them what your opinion was, and they're already disagreeing with you. I've had that happen to me. I've had people disagreeing with me because I'm black, so they just assume that my opinion was a certain way, and I'm like, wait a minute, my opinion is not even what you're arguing. But y'all have seen this. I ain't got to tell y'all. So the topic that I'm talking about here today, Rob on Facebook was good, is keeping your opinions flexible. And this is all about, and this is not about keeping the facts flexible. It's the difference between a fact and an opinion, right? A fact is black and white, and you can prove a fact. Nobody can argue a fact. An opinion is just someone's perspective and the way that you see something. And what I'm going to aim to explain to you here today, I'm going to sell you on this topic of keeping your opinions flexible. That just because you believe something today doesn't mean you have to believe it tomorrow. And just because you believed something 5 years ago doesn't mean you have to believe the same thing today. And I find that a lot of times people get attacked, or they feel sheepish about wanting to share that they have changed their opinion on something, because often what we do is we attack people when they change their opinion, right? We say, well, you're contradicting yourself. You said this 2 years ago, now you're saying this. Or you used to say this, now you're saying that. So we don't know what to believe. You're fake. You don't keep it real. These are the kind of things that people say whenever you change your opinions in life. But I want you all to understand, and this is the argument that I'm going to make here today, that all wise and intelligent people are always changing their opinions. It's only the fools who conclude to one opinion at some point in life, and then they just stick to it for the rest of their lives because they just believe for whatever reason they're not supposed to change their opinion. I'm going to change your mind about not changing your opinion if you were of this opinion before we got into that. Everybody follow me? So let's get into this. F. Scott Fitzgerald is the person I'm going to quote. And this F. Scott Fitzgerald said, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function." That's what a smart person does. An intelligent person can have two different ideas in your head that are exact opposites of each other, but still be fine with that. You can say, all right, I understand this person's side and they see this. I understand this person's side and they see this. I understand why Black Lives Matter is saying this over here and protesting in the streets. And I also understand why some people over here, maybe the conservative side, the people who may be on whatever, anybody who agrees with the things that Trump has said, kind of, sort of. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Fox News has said they may understand. You can understand that side too. I can understand both sides. And on my podcast on Monday, I explain this very clearly. I understand why people over here are doing what they're doing and saying what they're saying. And I also understand why people over here are doing what they're doing and saying what they're saying. And I'm willing to engage with people on both sides of this situation and with people who are kind of in the middle, like who you also can see both sides. And I would hope that any of you who listen to me often enough will be a person who is, again, intelligent enough of mind to be able to see both sides of a situation. Even if you are strongly on one side, you can understand why people are on the other side. And I have found that over the years, especially as social media has gotten bigger and more prominent, that fewer and fewer people have this ability. Fewer and fewer people have the ability to have an opinion and then be able to logically and reasonably and keyword respectfully see the other person's opinion, who is exact opposite from theirs, and just respect the fact that this person has an opinion, respect them for their opinion, respect them as a person, and be able to have a dialogue with them even though you disagree. It's really hard to disagree with somebody on social media these days and keep everything above the line of respect, because it usually is within 1 to 2 exchanges that somebody starts throwing insults out or starts getting snarky or trying to be sarcastic, and then all of a sudden everything goes left, right? And again, y'all see this on social media all the time. Just this past week, we saw NFL quarterback Drew Brees offered an opinion that was his opinion, but a lot of people disagree with it, and the whole sports world just dragged this guy's body through the streets because they didn't agree with his opinion. All he offered was an opinion. He didn't state something that was an incorrect fact. He offered an opinion, a perspective. And a lot of people just could not tolerate him offering that perspective. Now, I understand some people saying it was bad timing. You shouldn't have said it right now, even if you believe it. Or what about this just happened? Why are you going to say that now? I get it. But at the same time, all he was offering was his perspective, and it's not illegal to have a different perspective than everybody else. That's not against the law. So I don't agree with the way that people ganged up on Drew Brees and forced him into backtracking. And who knows if he actually changed his mind. I don't think he did. I don't think Roger Goodell changed his mind with that NFL apology. I don't think all these companies, and y'all getting the emails, any of y'all on anybody's email list. I got an email from every company that I've ever contacted me in my life. And this last week, with that CEO with the little picture telling me what they're doing to show that they care about social causes and that they finally understand that Black Lives Matter. Because I don't believe none of that shit. Honestly, I don't believe anything any of them are saying. I know they got to do what they got to do. They got to play the game. This is the game. I'm not mad at them for playing the game. I'm not demonizing them for playing the game. But I don't believe any of the shit that they're saying, like they've all of a sudden had a come to Jesus moment and now all of a sudden they understand all these things about people of color. No, you don't. You don't understand a damn thing. You're saying what you got to say so you can stay in business. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because, listen, all of us at different points in life, we got to play the game. The difference between maybe some of you and those people at these CEOs of these big companies is that when you change your mind, nobody notices. But when they change their mind, the whole world sees it. That's the only difference. So do not talk down on them for changing their perspective or playing the game when they need to, because you do the exact same thing. The difference is you may be able to do so anonymously, while when they do it, the whole world knows about it. That's the only difference. So again, let me repeat that quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald to frame this conversation we're having here today. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. Can you see both sides of any argument? Even if you have chosen a side, can you logically and reasonably see the other side while still being respectful of the other side's perspective? That's a question for you to hold in your mind as we get into these points. Point number 1, definition of an opinion is a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. That's a deep one right there. That's a rich definition. Let me say it one more time. Because these days on social media, we're seeing a whole lot of opinions. Not a whole lot of facts. The facts, everybody agrees on the facts, right? Don't we all agree on the facts? The fact is, we seen a video, 8+ minutes long. This man's laying on the ground in handcuffs and the cop has a knee on the neck. Everyone agrees with that fact. That's a factual piece of information. Now, why he did it, whether he caused that man's death, whether the guy was on drugs, whether he had hypertension, whether something wrong with George Floyd's heart, all of those are things we will find out when we get more information. But the facts that we know is the man is on the ground in handcuffs and the cop has a knee on the neck. And he died somewhere between the knee getting on the neck and then putting him in that ambulance and driving off. We know these to be facts. No matter what side of it you're on, or if you've chosen the side at all, these are facts. An opinion is a view or judgment that is formed about something that is not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. So while everybody agrees on that basic fact of this whole George Floyd situation, damn near everybody has picked up a bunch of opinions based on what we've seen and what we know. The facts that we have in this thing are very few. The facts you can list, you can write that it's basically no more than 5 facts in the situation that really matter right now as far as what we know. But there are millions of opinions. And you having the wrong opinion and having the wrong skin tone at the same time right now, a la Drew Brees a couple days ago, is not a good combination. Which is why I've been saying what I've been saying on social media. Listen, if you are of the fairer skin and you have an opinion that doesn't go along with what you're seeing people saying on social media, it ain't even worth the effort to try to change people's mind. Not now. You might just want to lay low for a minute because it's not even worth it. You saw what they did to Drew Brees. All right, do you want to be that person? I wouldn't want to be that person. And I'm black. I wouldn't want to be that person. So just lay low for now. There will come a time to share it. Right now is not that time. The point that I'm making here in point number 1, okay, that is not based on fact and knowledge. Knowing this, most of your opinions, most of my opinions, most of our opinions should never be set in stone. Since our opinions are not based on fact or knowledge, it is a view of something or a judgment of something, which means, can your view change? Like when you're on the first floor of a building, things look a certain way. When you're looking down at the street. When you're on the 10th floor, the street looks a little bit different. When you're on the 50th floor, the street looks a whole lot different. So when your view changes, your perspective changes, your opinions should change. When you have new experiences, your opinion should change. When you get new information, your opinion should change. When new facts come out, there's an article that the New York Times put out today. I posted it on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, my Twitter is @DreAllDay. So if you want to see me engaging with some of these people on both sides of this whole situation, go to my Twitter @DreAllDay, and you can see the way that I'm interacting with these people. Even when they can be somewhat hostile and try to get kind of snarky, I know how to talk to people in a way that it will kind of bring that down, and we can have a respectful conversation, or we can get rid of people who aren't capable of doing that. Facebook as well, on a few of my posts on Facebook, same things. Be able and be open to have an opinion, but be willing to change it when you get new information, because when new facts come out in this whole situation, these facts that came out on New York Times today about the other 3 officers and the strategy they're going to have in court, the other 3 cops, besides Chauvin, the guy with the knee on the neck, they're going to turn on Chauvin, and they're all going to testify against him. They're trying to throw him under the bus. That's what's happening right now. Go to my Twitter and read that article from the New York Times, or just look up the New York Times, read that article, and they're telling you what the strategy is going to be. The lawyers went to court and they basically said this: we are willing to testify against this man. We're going to cooperate. He's the one that told us to do this. He's the one that was in charge. He was a 19-year vet. We were just listening to him. That's the reason why we did this. That's what they're saying right now. Their lawyers are saying that in court in front of a judge. They're going to turn on this dude. So they're all trying to gang up and blame it on him. These are new facts. And when his lawyer responds, Chauvin's lawyer responds, we're going to have more facts. So every time new facts come out, we are allowed to change our opinion. So anytime somebody tries to demonize you for changing your opinion, you just let them know what F. Scott Fitzgerald said and give them the definition of opinion. All right, and then actually you just send them a link to this live, because I'm putting it on my IGTV after this. Your perspective can change. Your knowledge should always be changing, because you're always getting new information. Your perspective will change because you get new experiences in life, which should change your point of view, and therefore your opinions will change. Point number 2. Today's topic, again, is keeping your opinions flexible, which is what all intelligent, smart, forward progressing people do, which I expect everyone who's listening to me is one of those people. Number 2, only the foolish man, and when I say man, I mean humans, not male or female. Only the foolish man gains new knowledge without changing his views. Let me say that again. Only a foolish man gains new knowledge without changing his views. When you learn something new, that means you should do something different. You have new information. You should have a new way of thinking. That should lead to a new way of acting, and that should also lead to you changing your opinions about things. You used to think it was this way, now you understand it's this way. I'll give you an example, a simple example from my own life. I used to eat just whatever. When I was for most of my time as a professional athlete, I used to eat whatever. But because I trained so hard and I had pretty good genes and a fast metabolism, I was able to out-train my mediocre nutrition. It wasn't bad, but it was mediocre. And I remember when I went vegetarian, I first went vegetarian, this was in 2013. And I remember I went to the grocery store down here in South Florida. It's called Publix. And I bought some like organic groceries, and I was like, man, these things is expensive. They cost way more than the regular joints. The regular apples are way cheaper than the organic apples and the vegetables and all that. I'm like, man, when I get organic, I only got like 1 bag of groceries. But when I go regular stuff, I got like 4 bags. I don't know if I could do this. So I didn't want to spend extra. I didn't want to splurge on organic produce for probably about a year or two, because I was like, man, it's not even worth it. I don't want to shop at Whole Foods, because my idea of Whole Foods was the food costs too much money. Whole Foods, whole paycheck. That's what people used to say, right? That was a joke about Whole Foods. It just costs too much money. It's not worth it to shop at Whole Foods. But then what happened is I got some new information. I started meeting people who ate all organic produce, people who were vegan, and people who understood a lot more about it than I did. And they started giving me new knowledge and started educating me and sending me links to get more information. And I realized, oh, this is why the organic produce costs more than the conventional produce. And then I started eating the organic produce, and after I did for a while, I ate some conventional produce, and it tasted like plastic. I said, oh, this is the difference. And I ate some organic spinach, then I tried to eat some conventional spinach, and it tasted like dirt. I said, oh, this is the difference. This is why it costs more money. Now I understood. Now, only place I shop is Whole Foods. I don't even really go to the regular grocery store anymore. I only eat organic produce. And I'm not saying that to be a snob to y'all, but to explain, when I got new information, I changed my habits. Now it doesn't bother me to spend $40 just getting some produce at Whole Foods, which is literally what happens. Whole Foods is not the cheapest grocery store. It's probably the most expensive one, but I'm willing to pay for it because I have a different knowledge and a different perspective as to what it's worth to put certain types of things in my body. I'm not trying to convince you of doing that, but when I got the knowledge, I changed my actions. You have probably got some new knowledge about some other thing, something that's important to you in your life this year, 2020, and you started changing your perspective. I mean, look at what we just went through before the George Floyd situation. We had COVID-19. Remember that? Remember when COVID-19 was the biggest problem we had? Those were the good old days, right? Now COVID-19, 3 months, shut down the whole America. Now what happened? Any of you been to a business in the last couple of weeks? What's changed? Now they want everybody to be 6 feet apart. Now you got to wear a mask when you walk into a business. Now you're supposed to be, now the restaurant, you go to a restaurant, they got to have masks on, they got to put gloves on their hands, they're supposed to be washing their hands, they got all these sanitary procedures, and some of us is looking at that like, man, shouldn't they have been doing these sanitary procedures in a normal situation? Oh, because COVID-19 happened, now they want to be clean. Oh, well, listen, maybe we can be snarky about that, but the bottom line is they got new information, something new took place, and because of this new perspective, people changed their actions. And you can think of examples from your own life. When you get new information and your opinions do not change, you need to examine yourself. You need to have a hard conversation with yourself. How did you get new information but you haven't changed? So this is the thing. I'll tell y'all this too. As a thought leader, in a position of thought leadership, and when I say thought leadership, that means like doing these lives, having an online brand, writing books, writing emails, professional speaking, doing TED Talks, having a podcast, a YouTube channel. All of these things are what we call thought leadership. So if you take a certain topic and you want people to see you as somebody who knows a lot about that topic or certain topics, plural, that we call that being a thought leader. And one of my mentors, who I talked about in this book right here, Work on Your Game, she said to me, she said, Dre, when you give your speech or you give your talk or you write your book or whatever, here's the question that you need to answer. What are people going to think or do differently after they hear what you have to say? Because if you're not leading them to thinking or doing anything differently, then you are not, your speech is not landing. It's not really having the effect that it needs to have, and nobody's going to hire you again if your keynote speech doesn't do that. So I'm telling you that to tell you this. Any of you who is in that space of thought leadership, when you give people information, don't just get them information just to feel like you feel good because you told them something. Get them information because it's aimed at changing the way that they think or changing the actions that they take. So when I tell you about these books, this book will change the way that you think about certain things and will also change your actions. And when you change your actions, what happens? You get different results. These 2 books I'm going to tell you about later. I'm going to give you some ways to change your thinking. I'm also going to tell you how to change the actions that you take. And what am I doing right now? The exact same thing. So my aim is always to, yes, I'm going to give you information, but what's the purpose of information if all you're doing is taking it in? Nothing. All right, you don't want to be a professional information gatherer, which I talked about in my book, Work on Your Game. A lot of people become professional information gatherers. They just learn things and read every book, and they're reading a book a day, and that's the thing. And people go around, I read a book a day. I read 300 books last year. Well, what are you doing with the information? Have you applied it? My business coach once said to me, he said he went to a Tony Robbins conference, right? And Tony Robbins has this conference called Unleash the Power Within. And the guy, he went one time, and he was sitting next to this woman. She was really excited. She said, man, I'm so excited for this. I love it. And she was like, I've been here 18 times. The same conference. Tony Robbins has been doing Unleash the Power Within for years. Like, I don't know, 20 plus years. This woman says she'd been to the same conference 18 times. And my business coach said he thought to himself, or actually he said to the woman, well, what have you learned? Have you applied anything that Tony Robbins teaches? Because if you had, you wouldn't have to keep coming to the conference. It's the exact same information. So make sure you're not just taking in stuff and feeling good about it, like, yeah, I got some new information, but then you're not doing anything. The whole purpose is to think or do differently. Ideally, both. Points. We still on point number 2? Yes. Point number 3. Now, today's topic again is keeping your opinions flexible. You get new information, changing the way that you think in life. Point number 3, when you come across someone who has a different opinion from you, this is a really important one that all of us can use, especially right now and moving forward. When you come across someone whose opinion is different from yours, either they said it and you you know your opinion is different, or you express your opinion and they let you know that they have a different opinion. Hopefully things haven't gone left yet, because we know on social media sometimes people come in kind of hot, right? And they disagree with you, and the first thing they do is say some kind of insult, or they try to be sarcastic, or they get disrespectful, assuming that they don't do that, because I understand that you ain't going to want to interact with anybody like that. I don't either. Assuming that that's not the case, when you meet someone who has a different opinion from you, ask the question why, and ask the question how. Why, sir, do you have this opinion? Like, I think this way, you obviously think that way. Could you just explain to me how you came to the conclusion that you came to, so I can understand what your perspective is, so I can understand where you're coming from. Why, miss, do you think this way? I think this way, and I can tell you why I think this way. Tell me why you think the way that you think. I just want to learn what your perspective is. And you have to be, I want you to understand, you got to be very open-minded to ask these kind of questions. You have to be respectful of other people, because you question another person's opinion, they can get defensive very quickly. Again, on social, if any of you is active on social media, you've seen this. When you question another person's opinion, they can get very defensive very quickly. And when people get defensive, they're liable to start, popping off at the mouth recklessly. Again, if you're on Facebook or Twitter, you see this all the time. In Instagram comments, y'all see this all the time, right? So ask this question. Ask the how and why questions. How did you come to this perspective? How did you see things this way? This current situation we got going on in the world, this would be a great time to ask this question. When someone comes in and says, well, you all, I'm on Twitter and people see that I'm black, they're like, oh, well, you all are doing this and you all think this. I'm like, well, don't just group us all in together, because believe it or not, we don't all have the same opinion, even though we had the same skin tone. So I try to understand to them, why do you have this perspective? And understand something. Everybody comes from a different place, ladies and gentlemen. Even two people who are black could come from different places. One of them can come from the suburbs. Another person can come from the hood. One person might have grown up with both parents, a dog, 2 cars in the garage, and a full family. Another person could have came from a single parent household in the hood, and they didn't even know what they was going to eat for dinner. They didn't even see their mom 3 days a week. Even though they got the same skin tone, they're not coming from the same backgrounds. So when you ask this question, how did you get to this perspective? Why do you see things the way that you see them? You will learn a whole lot about other people and how everybody's life ain't the same. So one of the things that shows that I find on social media, especially right now, and especially a topic that involves race. See, we argue about basketball, rap music, money, COVID-19, even the government. And some people could just check out, it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to race, everybody has an opinion. And everybody can get defensive really quick if you say something that they're offended by when it comes to race. So here's the thing. The height of ignorance is for anybody to believe that everybody else thinks the way that they think, because you think everyone came from where you came from. Everybody has not been from where, they don't know what you know. They haven't seen what you've seen. They don't think how you think. They don't have the experiences that you have. This is why you got to start asking these how and why questions. How did you come to this conclusion? Why do you think this way? Why do you assume that because I look this way and I dress this way that this is what I must think? Or why do you assume that because I express this opinion that I also must have this opinion, this opinion, and this opinion? And this is something that, again, even with the officer, Derek Chauvin, who got arrested, they said it was a hat. He had a picture that said, "Make whites great again." So they said, all right, so he must be a Trump supporter. All right, I'm fine with that assumption that he supports Trump, because the hat is the same design. And then they say, oh, well, that must mean he's also a racist and he hates black people and this and that. And then people start making these leaps. And I'm like, wait, we don't know anything about it. Let's stop right there, because first of all, you can't go to jail for being racist. All right, it's actually technically not a crime, even though you may not agree with it. It's technically not a crime. So we're not prosecuting him on being racist. We're prosecuting him on his actions. We're gonna judge him on his actions, and when we go to court, we're gonna see what the deal is. That's what it is, and that's all we're waiting on. As I said at the top of this live, but let's not make these leaps, these cognitive leaps, that just because you look like this, or you sound like this, or you said this, or you follow this person, that must mean this is your opinion, and so I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say that. This is where we start going wrong. So I'm hopefully can persuade some of you who are listening to me right now to don't make these leaps with people. Even though somebody may do it to you, listen, people do it to me damn near every day. All right, people make these leaps with me. And they look at me and they see the way that I'm dressed and they see the tattoos and the things, and then they see they got a certain assumption of who this guy is and what he's about. And then they hear me talk, and then they hear about my resume, and then things start to change. But you can get judged this quickly by people all the time, and they don't have time to learn about you and find out about you and do their research. They just make a snap judgment. I want to train you, even though people are going to do it to you every day, you don't do it to other people. All right, you don't need to lower yourself to their level, especially on any of these social media platforms where people have anonymity, and y'all know people can just talk real nasty and I guess what they call disrespectfully. I don't take it as disrespect if I don't know your face and I don't see your name, and you got a picture of somebody that's not you as your avatar, and then you're trying to say something to get me. Like, that doesn't even register to me. And I want to make sure that y'all don't fall into this trap of getting into these back and forths with people on social media when they're just spewing their ignorance, and this is a place where you can do it and hide behind an egg avatar, but y'all got to let that go. All right, don't be a person who falls into that. Donna St. Louis was going on. Donna St. Louis, the person I talked about in the mentorship chapter of this book, who I was talking about, she's in here right now. So shout out to Donna. So everything that I just said, ladies and gentlemen, asking those why and how questions. This is how you can start to learn why people have the perspectives that they have, why they are coming from where they're coming from, why they're saying what they're saying, why they're looking at the protests that people are saying they're peaceful, but then other people are like, it's people on my Facebook right now. Oh my God. They're like, man, these riots in the streets, and they just keep going on and on. But they have this perspective. So you want to find out why. Don't try to demonize them. Don't argue with them. Just try to find out why they're saying what they're saying. And here's the thing that y'all got to understand. I said this on my podcast on Monday. And when there are people out there on the conservative side of things who are not from the inner city, who are not black, they're like, why? All right, so black people, and they put us all in a box, right? Black people are upset because this guy got killed. I understand, but why would they go and riot and break stuff and destroy things and make noise? Why would they do that because somebody died? How is that going to solve anything? And what I explained, which is what many of you who are intelligent enough to understand can understand, is that when people feel like they are not being heard and listened to, they feel like they're being ignored, all they're going to do is just keep making more noise until you pay attention and listen to what they have to say. Even if you disagree with what they have to say, even if you think they're not worth being listened to, even if you think you have already come to a conclusion as to what their perspective is and how to respond to it, if they feel like they are not being listened to, all they're going to do is make more and more noise. Any of you got kids? What's your child do if your child wants some attention from you but you're ignoring them? What do? They might start whining. Then they're going to start crying. Then they're going to start throwing stuff. Then they're going to start screaming. And then everybody in the store or everybody on the plane is giving you a dirty look like, yo, can you control your damn kids? Because the kid feels like they're being ignored. And human beings, us adults, all we are kids and babies that got tall. All right, that's all we are. We are exactly the same. So when you come across a person who seems to be making a whole lot of noise and you know that they're kind of misinformed or they're just kind of drawing conclusions and leaping to conclusions without having any real perspective or information, all you need to do to calm them down, because this is the only way you're going to get through to them, is first you got to bring them down from that 10, bring them down to about a 3. The way that you do that is to show them that you are actually listening. And how you let somebody know that you're listening is to ask them an open question and let them talk. And let me tell you a secret about human beings. We love to talk. We love to share our own perspectives and talk about ourselves. Case in point, I do this every single day, do I not? You think I enjoy it? We like talking about ourselves. We like sharing with people what's on our minds. We like to give people our perspective. When you give someone the opportunity to share their perspective, they will appreciate you, they will respect you, and then here's the key thing. Now they're open to listening to you. If you want people to listen to you, do not jump in and start telling them how they're wrong. That will not work. All that's going to do is get you in a comment section war. Don't get in comment section wars. It's a waste of your time. Listen. Let people talk. Let them express their opinions. Show them that you listen. Then they'll be willing to listen to you. This is how you can keep your opinions flexible. And in the process of doing this, here's what's going to happen. you're going to learn some things that you didn't know. You will learn why this white guy who's from the suburbs and you a black guy from the hood, why does he think black people are like this when he doesn't know anything about black people? Why would he make that assumption? Well, this is why. Because this is all he knows. And when you hear him talk, you will understand that's why that's all he knows. And then maybe you'll be able to insert some different perspectives that he otherwise would never have known because he's never been to where you've been. He ain't never been to the block you're from. And he don't want to go there. He just wants to make his opinions from Facebook. But if you listen to him, he'll be willing to listen to you and say, oh, okay, you black guys aren't so bad. You people ain't so bad, right? And you might take that as offensive, but he's not trying to be offensive. This is all he knows. So again, you have to open yourself to understanding where other people are coming from. This will help you get along with people a whole lot in life. What I just gave you is a sales lesson. That's not even about opinions. You can use that in any aspect of life where you want to get along with other people and build rapport. You can use what I just explained to you. So let me recap what I talked about here today. The topic is keeping your opinions flexible. I'm going to tell you about these 2 books right here, how you can get them for free. Then I'm going to answer any questions if we got any in the comment section. The topic, keep your opinions flexible. I'm going to repeat this quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold 2 opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. A lot of people are not able to do this because they just decide on an opinion and they don't want to hear anything else from anybody else. You'll see this on social media every day. We got these social media lynch mobs. If you disagree with them, then they destroy you and they carry your body around the town square like they did Drew Brees. Unfortunately, just make sure that's not you. Definition of opinion. Point number 1. A view or a judgment formed about something not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. Knowing this, most opinions should never be set in stone because your perspective will change. When you're on the first floor, there's a different perspective when you're on the 10th floor, different perspective when you're on the 60th floor. The further you go in life and the different people you come across, different things you see, your perspective will change, therefore your opinion should change. Point number 2. Only the foolish man gains new knowledge without changing his views. Every time you get new information, your opinion should change because you have new information to apply to that opinion. Maybe your beliefs will change. Maybe the way that you deal with other people will change. New information should change you. It should either make you do something different or think something different. Ideally, both. Again, in the thought leadership world, you have to do this. If you give a speech and at the end of the speech, the audience is like, that was a great speech, but they don't do anything or think anything different, then that you didn't really do anything. You did not produce a result, and you only get paid for results. What do I tell y'all every day here? We are in a results-based business. It's not a feel-good business. It's a results-based business. Point number 3, ask why of other people's opinions so that you can learn what they see and what they know, and maybe you will learn something that you didn't know. Maybe you'll learn something about why this person who looks different from you, different skin tone from you, a different background from you, why do they keep saying these things that are not true, and you think they're idiots, and you think they're racist, but they're not actually racist. They just don't know what they don't know. But they won't listen to you explain it because they think they already know you, and the reason why they won't listen to you is because you won't listen to them. So somebody got to move first. You be the intelligent one. You be the smart one. You control the situation by letting them talk. The person who controls the conversation is the person who asks the questions, not the person who's doing all the talking. Everybody heard what I just said? The person who controls the conversation is the person who is asking the questions, not the person who is doing all the talking. If you ask the right questions, the other person will do almost all of the talking. But they will love you for it because of one specific thing. You finally gave them a chance to express themselves. And if you look around life, you'll notice a lot of people do not listen. So when someone finally comes across you, and you're a person who's willing to listen and let another person talk, they will love you because finally they got to talk and somebody was actually paying attention. And now, after you pay attention to them, guess what they'll be willing to do? Pay attention to you. Now you can develop some rapport. Now you can get on the same page with that person. Now you can start to build relationships. This is how you can diversify your life. Instead of just talking to people who agree with you, talk to people who don't agree with you. The way you do it is by shutting up and letting them talk. And I guarantee you they will talk. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to take questions in a moment. If anybody got one, go ahead and post it in the comments. I don't know how much time we got left because I don't know when we started. But let me tell you about these 2 books, how you can get both of these for free. They're already paid for. All you do is take care of the shipping. This right here is called The Mirror of Motivation, Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. I wrote this book to help any of you step out of the old you, whatever that old you was that wasn't getting you the outcomes that you want. Step into a new you with a brand new energy. When you change your energy, you will change your results, even if you take the same actions. If you're ready to do that, that sounds like what you're looking for, go to mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. It's free. You take care of the shipping. Go to mirrorofmotivation.com. This book right here is called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This is for the players specifically who want to play basketball overseas. Even if you come from a small background, no one's ever given you a chance, but you believe you had the talent to play pro ball, Go to balloverseas.com. I'm going to give you the 237-page blueprint on how it's done. I came from a D3 school, didn't have any game film, no prospects, and made it happen. I wrote this book so you can make it happen. Go to balloverseas.com. The book's paid for. All you do is take care of the shipping. Book's free. balloverseas.com. Now let me see what we got in the comments. Facebook, don't be nervous. If you got a question, go ahead and post it in the comment section and I'll address it. Again, I don't know how much time we got left here, so I'm going to get through these. Make sure, hopefully we can get through them all. But let's see. If you got a question, go ahead and post it in the comment section. We'll get it right now. This white tank top that I got on makes it hard for me to read these comments. But we're gonna do what we got to do. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. Let's see. We got Anna checking in from Miramar. You are right. We are not victims. So I'm glad you read that. Either you read that on IG or wherever I posted it. Appreciate you. Antonio 817. So you got 2 jobs listening to me. When I walk from job to job, you inspire me. I appreciate that, Antonio. Shout out to Antonio with those 2 jobs. Shout out to everybody out there who got 2 jobs. Yes, definitely YouTube. Let's see. Bradley Anderson, appreciate the comment. Kev, what's going on? Your boy Ali says, the book The Super You help insecure people, or do you need to have some level of confidence? Super You will help you build your confidence from the ground up. Also, the Mirror Motivation, we talk about confidence as well. Because when you build discipline, you build confidence. Now, discipline builds confidence. The foundation of confidence is discipline. Because the more you do something consistently and do it the right way, you will build belief in your ability to do those things. Rashal Legs, what's going on? Appreciate you. Dawn of St. Louis was good. Yeah, you people. DW Pass said, I made a video and Brandon Tatum tells the truth. The last few days, people bombarded me with messages over my views on the ongoing protests. Yeah, well, that's what it is. Like, as I've been talking about here. C3 Legacy, what's going on? DW says, thank you for explaining. People such as my black friend keep ignoring the fact that I was indicating. Well, see, that's the thing. You can't pound your ideas into other people's heads. It's not going to work. That's what everybody does on social media, and it looks good and it sounds good when they get amplified, but that doesn't actually work. It doesn't actually produce results. Like, so the social media lynch mob, like how they bullied Drew Brees. Did Drew Brees really change his mind? I don't think so. Drew Brees did what he had to do so he would stop getting killed on Twitter. That's what he did. Roger Goodell, did they really change their mind about kneeling, and do they finally believe Black Lives Matter? I don't think so. I think they did what they had to do to save their asses because their business was under fire. That's what I believe. And I asked this on my story earlier, and everyone who replied said, we don't believe anything the NFL said. Matt says, I used to think that you should stand by your opinions, but after this live, I got some self-reflection to do. Exactly. Well, that's the reason why I do the live, Matt. I want you to think differently or do differently, and offer you something that can help you advance, and I'm going to make sure it makes sense. And that's why I build the arguments the way that I do. So you should stand by some opinions. Some opinions you're going to keep, but some of them you should be willing to change. And then when you do, tell people, hey, I changed my opinion because I got new information, which is what everybody should do. Listen, Matt, all intelligent people change their opinions. So if you come across somebody who tries to clown you for changing your opinion, that tells you everything you need to know about that person. Antonio, read my book, Overseas Basketball Blueprint. It's in there. DW said, I think Drew Brees didn't mean what he said. I think he was forced to, because the NFL and media kept killing him. Well, it wasn't the NFL that killed him. It was the media that killed him. ESPN killed him. Every black football player killed him. Basketball players was killing him. Everybody killed him. The whole world was against him for about, 12 hours? And then he undid that by apologizing. And then Donald Trump helped him out, actually. Trump said he shouldn't have apologized. And then Brees came out and said, no, I stand by my apology. So by going against Trump, Drew Brees went from the most hated to the favorite that fast. All he had to do was go against Donald Trump. So shout out to Donald Trump for helping Drew Brees out of that hole he dug himself into. All right, so to tell you about these books, I'm going to tell you about this book right here. Work on your game, using the pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. In this book, I took my whole philosophy, all these frameworks that I give y'all every single day, and I took the best 250 pages of these frameworks and I put it into this book. I didn't take everything I've ever talked about because that book would be the size of this building. But I took the best 250 pages, put it into this book right here. I will give you not only this hardcover book shipped to your doorstep. We just shipped 3 or 4 of these out today. But also I'm going to give you $1,300 in immediate digital bonuses. So while you're waiting for the book to come, you're going to get the digital bonuses. You get access to them right now. You only get the bonuses if you go to workonyourgamebook.com. So yes, this book is on Amazon, Audible, iBooks, all of those. You don't get the bonuses if you get it there. If you get it there, it's fine. You still get the book. But if you want the bonuses, $1,300 in bonuses, go to workonyourgamebook.com. That's where you get the book and the bonuses. Get the bonuses now, get the book when it comes in the mail. I'm going to take a couple more questions. Let me see. Fritz says, keep your opinions flexible so you can save face. Not to save face. Keep your opinions flexible so that you can change with the times. Things change in life. We used to believe, people used to believe that drinking water out the tap was healthy. Now everybody buys bottled water. They changed everybody's opinion on that by giving y'all some information that you could be hurting yourself by drinking water out the tap. Personally, I still drink out the tap, but y'all get what I'm saying. It used to be we didn't need to wash our. Who knows what they was doing at restaurants? Now they got all these cleanliness processes because of COVID-19. Like, why wasn't y'all clean before this? Shouldn't y'all have been doing this before that? But new information. Now people are doing new things. This is just the way it works in life. It's not about saving face. It's about changing when you learn new things. DW said, I agree with the Drew and Trump thing. I'm not even American. Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to get cool with the left social media lynch mob, just say something negative about Donald Trump and you're in the group. Or you're in. That quick. Matt I said, I just got the overseas blueprint. Now I want to work on your game. All right, that's a good idea. You should do that. Work on your game, workonyourgamebook.com, get those bonuses. All right, so everybody, if y'all don't know, I do these lives every single day. I usually do them earlier at 5:15 p.m. Eastern every single day on Facebook at Facebook/workonyourgame, Instagram at Dre Baldwin. If you happen to miss it, you can watch the replays. Now we can put the replays of the IGs, we can put them on IGTV, so I just post them to my feed. And on Facebook, they just stay there on Facebook. I do put these on YouTube, but it takes like a month before they come up because I got a whole schedule on YouTube. So that's that, everybody. I told you about the books. Y'all got the class that I just did here today. Y'all know I got a podcast, comes out every day. It's called Work on Your Game. It's a master class. My show is a master class. You can get the full one at Work on Your Game University. I got a new podcast coming out this Monday called the Overseas Basketball Blueprint for players who want to play ball overseas. That's Overseas Basketball Blueprint. It's on Apple Podcasts. What's the other ones? SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify. It's on all those. So just look me up wherever. Y'all know how to find this stuff. I ain't got to tell y'all. Y'all know how to do this stuff. I'm talking to y'all like I'm talking to my parents or something. Y'all know how to find this information. Antonio said my parents hated the Why to Be Cocky video. Well, they don't understand. They don't understand. I don't know why your parents hated it. You tell me. They're your parents. How you asking me to explain your parents? All right. So everybody, look, we're going live again tomorrow. Turn on your notifications. Y'all know what it is. Follow me on my story. I'm giving y'all updates all day, every day. Work on your game. We out of here. Dre all day.